Hello everyone, and welcome to our video on building a very attractive barn-style, traditional barn-style chicken coop with the rounded top as you've seen in the beginning photographs of this video. Materials list. That way you don't have any waste, you don't waste any money on your materials, you buy exactly the right lengths and everything you need, and you'll use it right down to the last few inches and save a ton of money doing this. It'll be a great project for you and your spouse and your children, something you guys can do together, and it'll just be a real blessing to you. It really will. So with that said, I look forward to going through the video with you and look forward to your feedback. If you have any questions, make sure that you put them in the comments below, and we'll do our very best to answer and address all those questions for you and help you with the process of building your backyard chicken coop. Okay guys, we're fixing to work with our plywood. What we bought here is 2 sheets of the 8-inch 3/4 inch groove siding. I think they actually call it like 1932, but it's the 8-inch groove, or you can get the 4-inch groove, or you can just use plywood, whatever you want to use. Personally, for me, I've used a 3/4. I know it's a little heavier, but that's the point. It'll make it more durable for our project. So what I've done here, I've went ahead and set up, you know, I don't have any fancy tools or anything like that. I've just got a couple of old folding chairs and this piece of plywood here. If my wife will pan the camera back here, I believe she has, so you can see what I'm doing. So what I've done, I went ahead and measured this thing 60 inches from one end up to my first mark. And that's the first cut that we're going to make. We're going to cut this 60-inch piece out. And so that way I've got my height on my first. Okay guys, here we are. We're back with our first cut, and this is what your barn roof is going to come out like. Now this is 47 inches wide, so we took a little bit off of the width because of the grooves on the siding. We had to cut the 2 outside grooves off. So when you're left over with a full 47 inches, which is not that big a deal. You're missing an inch, right? So no big deal. So we got 47 inches this way, and you got a tight shot of that. Good enough. 47 inches across. This way, as you can see on the tape measure.
It's upside down.
And yeah, well, it's upside down. The camera lady. All right, and we've got 60 inches this way, 5 feet tall. Now the reason that we don't want to go any higher than that, like where we can stand up in this coop, if your yard, like our yard, has got an incline on it, a small incline, then it'll make it top heavy because it moves the balance to the top and the weight to the top, and it'll tip over. So that's why I've only went 5 feet high here. I would like to have went higher, but with 47 inches, I've only got so much weight to play with. And when we put the barn on the other end of this thing, when we develop and build that barn on the other end, that barn would have been high, so the center of gravity would have been at the top, and it would have caused it to have tilted. Now, if you've got a nice, flat, smooth, level yard, you can go up to 72 inches on this particular cut. And you can make that thing where, you know, if your wife is like my wife, she's kind of short, and so that way they can stand up right in the coop. But unfortunately, we weren't able to do that here. So anyway, we'll be back with you in a few moments with another cut. As you can see, we're back with the door cut out now of the piece that we just cut. This is our end piece, and this door is 24 inches wide by 34.5 inches tall. Now what I've done here, there's a 2x6 that goes all the way around the bottom. So what I've done here is measured up 5.5 to match my 2x6. That way when I build that box, and we'll do that here in just a moment, when I build that frame for that 2x6 on the bottom, this will sit behind it. The 2x6 will be sitting out here between me and you, and we'll screw this plywood onto that 2x6, and that'll give us some extra stability along the bottom. And of course, you know, this thing's pretty solid, so it's going to give us some stability from side to side as well. So this really makes a nice solid box for us to build off of. So anyway, with that said, again, the door is 24 inches wide by 34.5 inches tall. And we'll see you on the next cut. Hey guys, welcome back. We got our two 12 foot by 6 inch, our 2 by 6 by 12 set up. I'm cutting it at exactly 141 inches for this cut. That's going to be our entire length of our run all the way together. And as we go on, I'll explain to you why we didn't go a full 12 foot. And it'll become real obvious to you as we put the finishing details on the roof. Because if we'd have went the full 12 foot, we have enough metal to go the full 12 foot. Problem is, we wouldn't have had any overhang. So that's why we're going to step back in just a little bit from 144 and give ourselves 1.5 inches worth of room on each end to put some overhang, because we'll divide this 3 inches that we're taking out here to each end. And that way we'll have some overhang to be able to put our trim in, and it'll look real good, real nice, and really finished out, great looking. And you'll see what we're going to do with that, again, as we go on. So 141 is your length on your cut. I went ahead and jumped a little further in this one, because this is simplicity. These are the two end pieces. They're 47 inches. Now what I did, and I'll tell you what I did when we went to the lumber yard. I bought a 2 by 12 by 6 inches. A 2 by 6 by 12 foot. It's going to save you a lot of money, because you can get your cull lumber normally for a 40 to a 50% discount. And depending on how bad it is, if it's something that's been broken, you'll get it for, 25-30 cents on the dollar if it's got a broken end on it or something. So don't be afraid of that cull lumber. The main thing is, get what you can use. And little bows like these don't hurt us at all. They help us and the lumber yard, because you're buying something off them that normally they would have had a difficult time selling because no one wants it. But for our application, that's exactly what we want. Hey guys, welcome back. As you can see, we've made a little progress here. You remember we left off with our band. It was 141 inches long by 47 inches wide. As you can see here, we put the 47-inch piece inside the 141-inch band, the length. Now here, went ahead and assembled some boxes. Went ahead and made the floor on the inside. Put it in. Put a little cap up here for the metal. And we're going to cover this with sheeting, with the green tin. And we put these in. These are our risers. It's going to bring us up to where our roof is going to catch and go on across. We'll put some more of those in down through here. On the barn construction, there's only one door. That's your entry door. On the back side, I'm going to put a couple, which you can't see right now, but you will see. I'm going to put two doors back there, the size of that door, a little taller. That door, I think, is 16 inches. I think what we did on that one. 14. This one is 14 inches high. But that's all the chickens need to get in and out. We don't need too big of a door here. Just something simple. Simplicity is always best. My advice is simplicity. No matter what you're doing, make it simple, because simple is easy. This is simple. You can do it. If I can do this, it's got to be simple. So this is really easy. Like I said, it takes 2 sheets of your siding, 8-inch groove siding, or 4-inch if you prefer. I like the 8-inch myself. 3 of your 2x6s, and I bought 4 treated 2x4s. Now the only thing that I shelled out on, and I got to tell you, I shelled out on this base. The 2x6s for the band, I bought Quality Lumber. The one that I used to cut the 47-inch pieces out of, I bought Cull. That was a 2x6x12 Cull, had a bow and a twist. Not a big deal because I was only using 47-inch pieces. I looked down it, sighted it out, checked it with my tape measure, make sure that I would get the cuts out that would be straight and square that I needed for my application here. Now these two outer band pieces, the ones that I cut the 141-inch piece from, these, paid full price for them because I wanted what I wanted. I wanted a good, straight, true 2x6 that I didn't have to worry about, and that's why I shelled out for those. So, but the rest of the stuff is just Cull pieces that I picked up that the building supply would have had trouble selling. It did me great, and as you can see, it's working great because we cut it up in small pieces. This 2x4 here that I have, this thing was warped, terribly warped and twisted. But as you can see, when I cut it down in these small pieces, the twist came out of it and the bow came out of it because it's cut so short you'll never see it. I've assembled everything here with screws, by the way. You don't want to use nails. This thing's going to be moving around. It's going to be sitting on wheels so that you can move it through your yard because it is a tractor. And that way you want this thing to be stable. And nails are not stable. Anyway, I'm rambling on. It's gotten late and supper's almost done, so I'm going to take a break for the day. Hope you're enjoying all this. God bless y'all. Y'all have a good afternoon.